Francis Ngannou is scheduled to fight Renan Ferreira, the PFL's heavyweight champion, and I believe it is a mistake. It is a mistake because this is coming off of the heels of his nasty knockout loss where he was flatlined by Anthony Joshua in boxing, and he has not taken enough time off to recover, in my opinion. I believe when you have such a traumatic knockout like that, flatlined, you need to take at least a year off. He's not taking a year off. He's taking 7 months off. He got knocked out March 8th. He's coming back October 19th. That's March to April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7 months, guys. Not enough time, especially when you're coming up against a knockout artist. Renan Ferreira is not some pillow-fisted guy. He's a big guy that does big damage when he hits you. So the writing's on the wall. The writing is on the wall for a Francis Ngannou knockout loss. And I don't come here happy to say that. I don't come here rooting for that to happen. But it's what I see happening. So I'm calling it how I see it. I think Francis Ngannou has a lot going on in his personal life. I won't go too much into it. But, condolences to him. That has to be weighing heavily on him. Who knows how that could play an effect? That could give him a motivation. That could also give him something else. Who knows? It could just put him into a depression. I don't know. But in terms of the concrete evidence here, the guy got knocked down really bad the first time by Anthony Joshua. He got knocked down badly. And the reason why people say boxing is more dangerous than MMA is because after that first knockdown in MMA, the guy would have got on top of him, ground and pound, and the fight would have been over. However, in boxing, not so much the case. In boxing, you drop him, the guy gets a standing 8 count, he gets the count to 10, he beats the 10 count, and then from there he goes back into the fight only to get knocked down, or knocked out rather, a round or two later, whenever it was, right? However long the fight lasted. 2 rounds. I just went and looked it up again. 2 rounds the fight lasted. So he got dropped in the first round, knocked out cold in the second round, and you're telling me you're going to throw him in there against this guy who, let's pull up his record. The guy's got a record of 13 wins, 3 losses, and as you can see, 11 of those 13 wins being by KO, TKO. So this guy has power. He's a big dude. He's 6'8", he's listed as, which is taller than Francis Ngannou. I mean, guys, the writing is on the wall. Again, I don't take pleasure in saying this, like, Francis is going to get knocked out. No, I'm not one of those people. This is just what I see happening. And I maintain this position for guys like Alexander Volkanovski as well. He came back way too soon after the Islam Makhachev knockout where he got head kicked and then ground and pounded on the top of his head up against the cage, slumped, and he came back way too soon too. I think he came back 3 months later, 4 months later, less than 4 months later against Ilia Topuria, and he got smoked as well in that fight. And listen, guys, listen. Alexander Volkanovski as well needs to take over a year off. I said when Francis lost to Anthony Joshua that Francis needs to take at least a year and a half off, at least. And then you can go back to sparring and doing all these things. But, brain injuries and concussions and head trauma is not anything to be played around with. That knockout, bro, a lot of fighters don't come back from knockouts like that, man. This is some serious stuff, bro. Like, a lot of fighters, when they get knocked out the way Francis did against Anthony Joshua, they don't come back. It takes a special kind of person to come back from that. And, has it happened before? Yeah, sure. Can it happen again? Yeah, of course it will, definitely. But can it also go the other way? Yeah, it can. And it does, more often than not, go the other way. So that's my take on this one, guys. I'm very curious to what the odds are here. I'm not a big betting guy, but I think I may put some money on Renan Ferreira for this one if he is a considerable underdog to Francis Ngannou. Because again, man, not only has he not fought MMA in a while, right? He hasn't fought MMA in a while. He had 2 fights in boxing, so he's going to be rusty when it comes to MMA. And He's going to have someone throwing knees at him, kicks at him, all these things, elbows, clinching him, while kneeing him. You get what I'm saying? It's going to be a different type of clinch. It's not a boxing clinch where it's a rest position. It's a MMA clinch where we're active and I'm looking to take you down or knee you in the ribs and things like that. I think all signs point towards a Francis Ngannou loss. And, you know, that's my take on that one. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below, whether you agree, disagree. It does not matter. Just join the discussion, follow for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.